All right, everyone. Well, here we are back in the saddle Monday morning. And although I was prepared for the possibility of getting kicked in the teeth again today, like I did on Thursday and Friday, I followed the rules that I laid out for myself in the game plan that I uploaded yesterday, Sunday, and that I also kind of started to formulate on Friday. I've recognized that, this month I have fallen into a habit of a few different mistakes. And if I can cut those out, that by itself is going to make a huge difference. So let's look at today's trades and kind of talk about how I approach things. Because, what's interesting is today we actually had some really solid momentum in a way, but it still wasn't super clean or super easy compared to some of the weeks in the past. But of course, it's Monday. It's the beginning of the week. So sitting here at $3,593.57. I'd call that a green day. That's great. That's what I like to see. And a small green day like that for me, and for me it's a small green day, is such a big confidence booster. It's like, okay, there we go. Back in the right direction. I know what I'm doing. I've just got to stay disciplined. I've got to stay within the guardrails that I've set for myself. So what are those guardrails? Well, the first one is I said today, 5,000 share, max position until I can have a green day. I need to be consistent. I need to have green days. I don't want to continue to have a cycle of red days. Having two back-to-back red days, Thursday and Friday, that's bad enough. Got to stop the bleeding right now and try to turn around. Now, it's still possible, and I knew this, that I could have a red day today, but I would be having a red day at the rate of 5,000 shares per trade. So the total loss would be more manageable, and it would help prevent me from getting emotional and emotionally activated and therefore compromised, which would turn into potentially a third day of spiraling. So had to reduce share size. All right, so first trade of the day. And one thing I'll say is this morning, I didn't check the scanners the moment I woke up. I've been doing that on other days, and while that's fine, it also creates a little bit of a problem, and the problem is that sometimes it triggers FOMO, where immediately I'm like, oh my God, I've missed a huge move. And I get up early because I got to get my kids ready for school, and then I come over here around quarter of six, or quarter of seven, and by that time they're just about ready, and then my wife, she takes it from there. So anyways, I thought if I check my scans at 5:45 and I see a stock squeezing up right now, I'm just going to spend the next hour getting my kids ready for school, like kind of distracted and getting myself amped up. So I was like, you know what? Don't even look at the scans. And this was kind of like a little bit of a challenge because it was my first instinct. I said, don't do it. Don't look at them. Wait until you come over to your office. So I didn't even look at the scans. I knew that TGL was on my watch list yesterday, so that was a possibility, but I didn't look at the scans. I came over here, I sat down, and I saw TGL had made a nice move, but I also saw that we had NVVE. And I was like, NVVE, you old son of a gun, how did you get back on the scans? And so I'm wondering, was there news? What was pushing this stock higher? It had this big move after the reverse split, and then it gave it all back, and now popping up today, but selling off again. I didn't see any news on it. So the move started with a 4 a.m. pop. It drops down, then it rallies back up, drops down, comes back up, sells off, and then pushes higher. So this was my first trade of the day on NVVE, and I took it just before 7 a.m. So we're going to go back here to 7 a.m. Let's see. So right in here. So it had peaked at about 6:20 right here, pulled back, and then it rallied back up here, pulled back, pushed higher, pulled back, and I got in right here, and I got in at 786 and 802. Those were my two ads. And so I was in, and actually I added it, got a partial fill at 807. So I was in at like $7.96 average, something like that. And it pops up here for a second. Let's see, it dipped down. This is where I actually added right there on that dip. And then we popped up to about 820. And I got out, and I actually had, with 5,000 shares, 20 cents of profit. $1,000 first trade. I was like, okay, not bad. That's pretty good. Can't complain about that. So that was my first trade. Broke the ice, got myself in the green. Then it dips down, and I got a small dip at something like, where was it? I can't remember, but I got a small dip on it, but it was like a break-even trade. It sells off all the way back down here to 7, dips down, and then it kind of rallies back up right here. I did take this trade through this breakout, but that wasn't a big winner. It was a little choppy, and I was like, I don't know. And I also took a trade on it right here. I tried to buy this dip as we were curling, stopped out, and then I got back, and then I didn't get back in there, but then I did get back in right here. So those trades ended up being a loser and a winner, and they cancel each other out. So didn't really, get that much. So with 5,000 share max position, I was able to pull 30 cents per share out of the market on this one. Not bad, not phenomenal, but it just didn't push a lot higher. And then one of the things I also said was I was going to be scaling down at the open. And for today, I was kind of like, you know what? I don't even know if I want to mess with this at the open because I'm just worried it's going to be choppy. And so I actually didn't take any of these trades. I just went on the more conservative side and was like, you know what? If it goes, it goes. But I don't want to take a loss because I at that point going into the open, I was up at $3,500. And I was like, look, this is a nice green day right now. It's not quite the daily goal, but it's a decent green day. Let's just maybe lock it up. That's kind of the idea today. Lock up a green day, end the red streak, rebuild some confidence, and then I'll come back tomorrow and, maybe be a little more aggressive if I see some good action. So that was NVVE. Now I did take a trade in my small account challenge, traded TGL, got a couple nice trades there actually. And I took two trades in my main account on it. The first one was a winner. The second one was a loser. So I'm down $8.71. So whatever, it doesn't really matter. But TGL, first trade, break of 95 cents right there. Nice squeeze up to $1.05. Pulls back, drops down, getting back in right here over $1.05, double top breakout, and it squeezes up to $1.20. Now, what's interesting is this did end up pushing higher, but I kind of was like, it's getting too crowded, too thickly traded. I'm going to leave it alone. KAVL, this is the biggest winner of the day, and it's the stock that's up the most on the day. Leading percentage gainer in the entire market. Stock I made the most money on, right? That's the theme. So I got in this one pretty early. It first popped up here to $1.10. It dips down, and I got in right there as it broke over $1.10. Double top breakout, kind of similar to the setup on TGL where we got that first push, a pullback, and then it came back up, broke through that level. So that was back here at about $1.10, $1.12. So I took this trade here and it goes from about $1.10 all the way to $1.30. 20 cents on a penny stock is pretty solid. So that was nice. I was like, awesome. $1,000 right there. So first $1,000 on this one in the books. It then drops back down here and I bought the dip at 110. And the reason I did that was because resistance. And I said, if it can hold this level, this becomes support. So it bounced, and as it bounced, I got in right there. It goes from $1.10 up to $1.25. Took my profit, dips back down. I get back in when it comes back up here, goes up to $1.33, pulls back. I get back in for the break of $1.30, goes up to $1.40, $1.37. Pulls back, then it hits $1.40, breaks $1.40, and I just kept trading it. And to be honest, the wins were kind of small because of share size, but I kept trading it and I kept adding profit, and I ended up making $2,300 on it, which is pretty good. I mean, it's not home run stuff, but it's not bad. At the open, then this was interesting. So we come into the open, and like I said, I was already sitting at 3,500. So I was like, you know what? This was the one I was watching, and I was watching it actually right down here off of VWAP, and I was like, should I? And I was like, you know what? Just leave it. I don't know. Ends up curling up here, so that would have been a winner. And then at the open, it dips, it rips, and then it jams down, halts down. Whoa! It opens, dips, bounces, double bottom right here. Bounces and then curls into a halt up. Opens, second halt up. Opens, goes all the way up to 86. Then it drops down, bounces back up, dips, bounces, dips. And in this area, it got kind of choppy. Now it ends up breaking this level here and jackknife, halt up, open higher, halt down. Open, squeezes up, comes back down. So we started getting choppy. And now, as you can see, we're back below VWAP. So did I leave some money on the table on this one? Yeah, I guess I did. But, every day you're doing one of two things. You're either leaving money on the table, you're giving back profit. And today I finished at my personal high of day. The only trade that was a little bit not great was WHLR. WHLR, this one pops up. It's a little higher priced and it's been very volatile. It's done a recent reverse split. And I jumped in this with a 250 share starter as it squeezed up right here. I was like, you know what? I'll just take a starter and let's see what it can do. It pops up to 19 and then it drops like this. I had another 250 shares and I got out kind of like in here at 18, but it was still a loss. So anyways, I was trying to jump on it quickly, but trade with small size, which I did, but I still ended up taking a decent little loss. Well, $359. It's not that bad, but that was the only one that was a little bit of a wild card. Higher price stock, lower volume stock, lower float stock, and it just ended up not catching the momentum that I thought maybe it was going to catch. I wondered if maybe there was news on it or something. This was like kind of right around 9 a.m. I don't know. Anyways, but there was no news. It was just sort of a funny little pop. So yeah, so KAVL, that was our biggest mover of the day. TGL, second biggest. NVVE, third biggest. Traded those top three. WHLR, that one's pulled back. Overall market, S&P 500, we're hanging out just under the highs, so we're in good shape there. SPY, this market is a little bit, it's kind of a little funny because we had the interest rate cut and then, market kind of, it's sort of priced in, but sort of thought the first interest rate cut would lead to more buying. So kind of surprised we didn't get more, but I guess it was already priced in. So overall market's a little top heavy up here maybe, but GLI, low price stock, well, $5 a share, kind of looks like an IPO curling back up. SCNX, this stock was formerly Meds, SCNX. They did a symbol change, ticker change, and company name change. So we'll see if this is one that pops up in the future. It might. Sometimes that'll happen before it starts to pop up. And then traders are like, wait, what stock is this? I've never seen this before. And it's like, oh, well, they did a symbol change, name change. Kind of throws people off a little bit. I did see LACE or LASC. Which one was it? LASC. This one I was pushing a little bit higher today. So I thought that, it put in a nice move up to $1 or up to almost 17. But this is a chart trending, buying the pullbacks. It's going higher, but I have a really hard time trading when these are on lighter volume because I just feel like the spreads get bigger, they get a little too expensive, and it's just not easy to get in or out. I feel like these ones really chop me up a lot when I try to trade them. So I ended up saying, no, I'm not going to trade it. If we look at KAVL and its position on the daily chart, KAVL, it was at all-time lows Friday. TGL, also all-time lows on Friday, right? So TGL. So these ones hitting all-time lows before bouncing, that is something that we're seeing a lot of. Sort of this drop to all-time lows, then this really impressive rally, 300%, 400%, 500%, 800% off the lows. So when you see something like LASC that's a little more extended, it's not the type of stock that's been working really well. And not to say it didn't put in a decent move today, because it did, but I don't know, my expectations for that are just a bit lower. So my plan for tomorrow is, now that I have the first kind of green day under my belt, tomorrow morning, 5,000 share, max position size till I'm up over $1,000. If the market feels good, I may increase share size a little bit, but then once I hit $5,000, I'm going to bring share size back down to the 5,000 share cap so I could try to preserve my first daily goal after a couple of red days, right? So, it's going to take a couple of nice little green days here to really get my confidence back and be back in the driver's seat. But I feel a lot better right now than I did on Friday. Just a small green day where you follow your rules and you have consistency. It's just such a big confidence booster. So the plan tomorrow is to try to continue rebuilding that confidence by sort of testing the water initially, smaller size, get my cushion, get green, build the cushion a little bit. And then once I get into a nice spot, scale back down so I can preserve the green day. And so that's going to be trading through the hours of, 7 a.m. Hard stop will be tomorrow at 11 a.m. Because I've got something I've got to do. But realistically, if things slow down earlier, then I'll slow down as well. So not wanting to overstay my welcome. I did a lot of that last week, did a lot of afternoon trading last week. That didn't pay off very much at all. So this week, focusing on discipline, trading for the most part, higher quality setups, and definitely things that are moving, and all of the trades within the time frame that I perform the best. So those of you guys that want to watch over my shoulder for the upcoming week, you're welcome to check out a 2-week trial. There's a link. Let's see. I'll post it. I'll pin it in the comments, and there's this slide that you can see for our 2-week trial. During the 2-week trial, you'll have access to chapters 1 through 6 of Day Trading the Basics, plus chapter 1 of Day Trading Strategies and Scaling. You'll be able to watch 3 interviews that I've done with members at Warrior Trading who have earned profitability badges. You'll be able to watch 4 mentor session recordings and watch 3 live trading archives. So you'll really get a sense of what it's like to be part of the community. So I hope you guys check that out. And if you want to learn a little bit more about my strategy, I will put a link in the description where you can watch a free intro class that I've taught that describes my strategy in a lot of detail. So make sure you guys check those out. Thanks as always for tuning in. And I'll remind you as always, trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so manage your risk, take it slow. And I'll see you guys back here bright and early. I'll be streaming tomorrow morning. See you then.